I'll tell you what is interesting, Steve.
What?
I didn't know that much about it. Autism.
Okay. Oh, good. There's some more entertaining stuff on XFM 104.9. Just to cheer up people. Go on, and what? Come on.
No, right. Have you heard about it, Steve? What
autism?
It scares me to death when he comes up, when he touches on a serious subject. We've been talking about wheeling a dead pope round, the Chinese don't age well, and ginger people are hated, and now we're going to touch on a really, I mean, my heart's in my throat. Go on, Carlin, tell me your insights to autism.
Right, well, there's this, again, Channel 4 coming up with some good stuff at the moment, right? It might have been Channel 5. But what's the name? It was
the attention span I like!
These people who, they've got like this autism thing going on.
Yeah.
And, they sort of take in a lot of information, they get sort of they get so into it that they know everything about that subject and what have you, right? And there was this lad who, he knew everything, right, about EastEnders.
Right.
He sort of, the cameraman was saying to him, so, you know, why EastEnders and that? And he said, oh, I don't know, I just like it. And he said, I remember when I first watched it, it was a Thursday, it was 5 to 8, Pauline Fowler walked in, she had a pink jumper on, she said, alright, love. And he remembers everything from that moment on.
Yeah.
Right, and everything. Which is great, but then, the way the programme was making out, it was almost like they were saying it's a disability.
Right.
When in a way, it's more like a superpower.
Sure. Like Rain Man.
Well, if you can take
it's Rain Man.
No, I'm
he
not.
has special autistic powers.
Oh God!
We were sent for Rain Man.
I don't know what to do.
So he would be a great contestant on Mastermind, sort of autistic mastermind.
Well, what I'm saying is, don't be watching EastEnders though. Sort of, why didn't they give him an encyclopedia and say, get into that?
Sure.
That'll be useful.
Yeah.
Keep him away from EastEnders. Wasting his time there. But I don't think it is a disability.
No.
Yeah, there are other things, and they're not, it's also autism is a matter of degrees, from what I know, and I'm sorry to have to do this, but I feel that I have to at least be the voice of reason, as ill-educated as I am on the subject, but I think, one, there's degrees of autism, I think some are higher performance than others, there's other issues with it, it's not they're just got good memories, they don't go around doing tricks for people, because they can remember stuff, there are other issues with it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they seemed a bit...
You watched the programme, what did you learn? That he knows when Pauline Fowler came in?
Yeah, I mean, there was other bits where they couldn't control her emotions and stuff.
Oh, that other little bit, yeah.
But the main bit of it was he can soak up information and stuff, and I'm just saying, it didn't seem really bad. Do you know what I mean? There's disabilities where people say that's a bad disability. It's like how people say about,
This is brilliant, this is just like, this is amazing to be in a room with this man. It's incredible. You just wind him up and listen to what comes out. And I'm gonna sit back now. I'm not gonna defend you or explain anything, just go on and tell me about the other disabilities that are worse.
No, what I mean is, how people can sometimes easily get mixed up. How people are scared of, like, a cyclop. When at the end of the day, he's got a disability. A bloke
Who's scared of a cyclop?
No, it's
apart from Jason and his Argonauts. Where's this Cyclop that you're scared of?
No, I'm just saying in history and in books and that.
No, not in history. History happened.
Yeah. But
what are you thinking of? You're mixing history with Greek mythology and Roman mythology and every other type of mythology. What do you mean there wasn't really a giant Cyclop that went round picking up ships and throwing them around? That's not history, Carl. Do you think Batman's history?
No, but this was, it was ages ago, wasn't it, when we were sort of
No, I'm not saying it didn't happen ages ago, I'm saying it didn't happen.
Well, it might have done. There's no, I mean, what's so ridiculous about a fellow with one eye?
In the middle of his head, and he's big and scary and lives in a cave.
Why is he scary? Because he's got, if he had 8 eyes, I'd be scared of him. At the end of the day, he's got a disability. We'll talk about it in a bit. One of the things that they told us was that Planet of the Apes was filmed in Lanzarote.
Right, okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
A bit of it. Well, does it? Does it make sense?
Well, what do you mean,
well, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Okay, anyway.
No, I mean, if they wanted to show sort of an Aaron, sort of barren, sort of post-apocalyptic sort of subject, choose where you went on holiday.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, but when we were there, he took us to this sort of beach, and I said, is this where they did it? And he was like, yeah. I said, what, right there, yeah. And I watched it, and I couldn't see where I was.
Yeah, you know that if you watch a film from 1968 and you've been to the same place,
the
you're
new
not
one.
going to feature. They're not going to see you in the back walking along the beach.
It's a new one, new Planet of the Apes.
Oh, the recent Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah.
Right.
Right. So I thought I'd sort of.
Now that sounds a little bit more far-fetched. I would have thought that was probably a lot in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, is this the current Planet of the Apes or the old one you've done?
Current Planet of the Apes.
This is the recent one.
Alright, there'll be a question at the end of it, so listen on that.
Is this entertaining to anyone, this? I mean, just take the last 4 minutes of conversation.
But seriously, Rick, who cares?
I don't.
Do you?
No.
I don't.
DVD's selling well.
Exactly, what do I care?
Right, go on then.
Alright, so Planet of the Apes, question at the end of it, listen and win some stuff. Alright?
Hey, where am I? What is this place? Hang on a minute, I'll have a look. According to the Lanzarote guide, we've been dropped off at the volcano bit. Apparently there's 36 volcanoes here to be seen.
I hope you don't mind my saying, but this is a waste of time.
What do you mean? Don't know why they need 36 volcanoes. Just keep one. Fill the rest in. Like a car park or something. Excuse me, guide. Why's the bus dropped us off here? What's so special about this place?
Well, according to our holy writings, that is where creation began. Where the Almighty breathed life in the time before time.
Well, it's amazing that, isn't it? All this has been stood here for years and years. What about the coffee shop there? Is that old, is it? Well, nothing. You're out to rip us off. I bet it's about £4 for a coffee there. Always ripping people off. That's what annoys me with these trips. You get us in the middle of nowhere, we die in a thirst. I'm not able to do without. The reason I've come here, I believe this is where they did Planet of the Apes, innit? Love monkeys. Especially the ones in Planet of the Apes, because they talk and that.
Talking monkeys can't exist.
You're joking, aren't you? Of course they can. Getting up to all sorts of stuff. I read about a monkey the other day who worked on the railway. Right? There was another one about a chimp that did a bank job and went off to Spain to sort of...
Shut up!
Oh, hey.
What is that?
Little monkey fella. It's come from that little coffee shop. It's been serving coffee. Now that is worth paying £4 for.
No, you're teasing him.
I'm not teasing it. It's working, isn't it? It's serving the... We want some coffee. Get us some coffee. I've heard about this. You can buy coffee that's been sort of hand-picked by monkeys. It's like Coffee Mate, except it's more sort of coffee primate. Yeah. Hello, little fella. We want coffee.
What do you mean, we?
You're gonna have a coffee, aren't you? What else are you gonna do? Go and look at another 35 volcanoes? I'm staying here. I'm having a monkey coffee. It's brilliant.
You find this amusing?
Jesus, it's a talking monkey. Right, mate. Have a couple of coffees.
Don't start now. We're off duty. I'm starved.
What do you mean you're off duty? Have you bananas later? Just get us a couple of... Alright. I understand that you're tired and you've probably been on your hands all day. Just forget the coffee. You go and get some lunch. After you've got some coach, you lazy ass.
You damn human!
Powerful.
Lovely. Excellent. So, what's the question?
If you've been listening to the whole show, how many volcanoes do I think's on the island of Lanzarote?
Okay.
Yeah.
I might have it wrong, what I've been saying, but it's roughly around that.
Yeah, so what have you been saying?
I'll tell you something, I've been meaning to ask you this for a while, because I know you're a very well-informed man. You
Yeah,
are very
political and sort of liberal and that.
Yeah. How does Chinese work?
With the language?
I can't figure it out.
No one knows.
I can't figure it out.
No one knows.
It's not like any other language.
No, it's not. It's not.
You know...
Either spoken or written down. Well, it's not written down, it's...
Well, when it's written down, it basically looks like kind of little children's drawings of those little paper houses that Chinese people live in.
Well, that's what it is. It is.
And it's loads of them, it's hundreds of them from what I can make
But I
out.
mean, even French have a go. It's not even the French got right words, but they've got some of the right letters, and they're going, oh, hello, how are you? And it's sort of, they're trying to do the words, but there's just something wrong. I think it's like a speech impediment, I think.
Exactly, yeah. Germans are similar.
Yeah, Germans are going, how are you? And they're trying to do the words.
They're trying to speak English, but it's
whereas
just coming out
Chinese,
of it.
no effort.
It's just, for want of a better word, it sounds, when I listen to Chinese, it sounds like gobbledygook.
That is a dialect.
I
think that's the main dialect. That, Mandarin, and orangutan. But I mean,
I can't, but seriously, I mean, I can't figure it out. I've got no grasp of how, because it doesn't seem to relate to anything I've
Wait, there's
ever
not
heard.
real words, because there are sentences. Like, you know, we have a word, if we said, a gentleman sits by the stream of fish.
I've said it often.
Yeah, we use all the different words to each one of those words, so we've got a word for each of them.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
haven't, they've just got, I think it's like a triangle with a line through it.
Right.
So,
Right,
which
right,
can
right.
get confusing, because, you know,
Yeah, so the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
that's just, that's what, I think that's like a little paper house with a feather on top.
Right.
But if we got,
Personally, this is what I would love to do. I want to use the fact that we're on the radio to answer these questions possibly.
yeah, tell me about other cultures.
I would love to speak to a Chinese person.
Yeah.
A Chinaman.
Well, or a Chinaman woman.
A Chinaman woman, I thought
Yeah.
fine. But I'd just like to speak to someone, ideally perhaps, you know, a professor of Chinese.
Or someone who works in a chip shop, but someone who was actually born in Chinaland.
Someone born in China.
Someone born in Chinaland, a Chinaman or a Chinaman woman, just to talk us through exactly what they're going on about.
Exactly. And it's just because I'm very ill-informed. I've only really seen, Chinese people in kung fu movies. You know, so
Chinatown?
Chinatown, walking through Chinatown.
As we've said before.
Not really a town.
Not really a town.
More of a novelty street.
More of a novelty street, a slippery novelty street.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
Because I remember watching Kung Fu a lot. They always used to speak, they always speak very slowly, don't they?
they do.
They're very kind of mysterious.
Yeah.
Inscrutable.
And they never really they are unscrutable.
You cannot screw a
You
Chinaman.
cannot screw a Chinaman or a Chinaman
They are
woman.
unscrutable, they are
They're-
non-scrutable.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
I was to go out in the street now and try and scrute a Chinaman...
You'd have no chance.
I would not, because they are inscrutable.
You could not screw a Chinaman for love nor money.
They are anti-scrutable.
Yeah, yeah.
I could possibly scrute a Chinese woman.
Well, I don't think
they're
you'd
pretty
have any
inscrutable.
luck. You've had no
But
luck.
anyway, if you are a Chinaman or a Chinaman woman who can just tell us basically how it works, how would you teach us the basics of Chinese if we were going to go to China and we wanted to interact? Where would we start? What would be the first words we would say? How would we say them? How would we write them? Please help.
This is gonna run and run.
What's the number, Carl?
08700 800 1234.
See, proper normal talking there. From Karl Pilkington.
But while I was at my parents' house, they often, you know, they keep clippings of things, you know, if we've been mentioned in the papers, they like to keep a record of them and stuff, because, I like to show it to my grandparents, you know, and keep fully abreast of things. And, you know, managed to find a couple of them. This was what, I don't know if you've heard this, Carl, it's, for people who don't realise, Carl was making a couple of little 3-minute TV projects recently that were on Channel 4. And in the Sunday Times, someone's written a letter about Carl to the Sunday Times.
Wow.
They can send in comments and views on things they've seen, read, heard.
Oh, excellent.
And this is what someone wrote to the Sunday Times. Who is Karl Pilkington? And why have I just wasted 5 minutes of my life listening to some of his cretinous thoughts on Channel 4? He asked, why are there so many dinosaurs on display in museums? Quotes, couldn't they just choose the best one and just show that? He summed it all up by deciding that we know too much. Somebody clearly doesn't know enough to know that this is a complete waste of airtime, showing no wit, intellect or creativity. That's from Wendy Robinson in Berkshire.
You can't have your critics. You know what I mean?
You've got to have your critics.
Of course you have. If everybody liked what you did, then you're not doing the right thing.
She wasted 5 minutes, and they were 3-minute wonders, so it must have felt
Yeah.
2/3 as long again.
But think how angry she must have been to have bothered writing this letter to the Sunday Times.
Well, that's good.
I mean,
though.
you
It's made her
really
do
must
something.
have-
It's all about getting people thinking. That's what I always say to you. As long as I'm getting people thinking about what I've said, she remembered what I said.
But what views did you put out in these short films which you feel people perhaps should be talking about, discussing, digesting, thinking about?
Just stuff that was in my head that day when I was filming them.
Yeah.
Is it in your head now?
Some of it is. Now you've remembered me what I said.
Now you what?
Now you've sort of told me what I said in that one. Yeah, I remember saying that.
Yeah.
And I stick by it.
Remember him some other stuff?
Yeah.
I'll tell you now, right? This, if I don't know if Wendy's, listened to this, but
Almost certainly not.
But listen, right? I was saying about the museums, right, and how they're big and everything, and they've
Brilliant.
got dinosaurs all over the shop. I read that in that museum, they've got something like 7 million bits of stuff in there, right? Now, when I spend 2 hours in somewhere, just show me the good stuff. Don't be saying we've got 7 million bits. Because there was a fella who opened it, right? I did a bit of research on the museum. Fella who opened the museum up.
And what was his name?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter, does it?
What museum was it?
It was the London one.
Oh, the London one, yeah, good.
So he's in there, and he's collecting all this, bits of stuff.
What stuff?
Just whatever's knocking about at that
Oh,
time.
right, okay.
It seemed like
You have researched it.
He never chucked anything away. He's like, I won't put it in the bin, pop it on a shelf.
Okay,
right? So
yeah.
he's put everything on a shelf in
right,
his
yeah.
museum. Then, as time
I
went
think you're
on,
going into too much detail, but just give us the gist of it.
No, but all I'm saying is, he keeps everything, and if you keep everything, sometimes it'll be good stuff, right? And a lot of the stuff was going missing, the good stuff. But people who set these museums up are just as crafty.
What?
The fella who found Tutankhamun, he was pocketing all sorts of fingers and stuff in his pockets on the way out. That had rings on them and stuff. So all I'm saying is, why is she having a go?
But
She's
hang on,
learned
wait,
something.
what's that got to do with someone pocket? I don't understand your point.
Because she's sort of moaning at me, going, "Don't have a go at the museum and the dinosaurs." But
No,
everybody,
she's
saying
having a
that
go
you're
at
an
your
idiot.
fatuous
You're-
point.
Yeah, you're absolutely uneducated,
But,
stupid
I mean,
point that
I-
you got TV time to talk absolute shit. If I could
that's not
paraphrase
my fault,
Wendy.
is it? That's not my fault. If someone says they want me to do a little programme and you can do what I want, I went and did what I did. Free speech, innit?
But we just gave you the chance then to defend yourself, and you just confirmed Wendy's point 1,000 times over. What was all this waffle about people nicking stuff? What's that got to do with anything?
Because she's having a go at me. I didn't nick
But she's
anything.
having a go at you for talking nonsense that's of no consequence, which is what you just did
What
then.
sort of nonsense?
But what was your point?
Oh, all right, then we'll watch Wendy's little programme when that goes out. Let's see what she's got to talk about. Sick of her. When did Wimbledon finish?
A couple of weeks ago.
Right. Found myself sat there, right? I'm not having a go. I know we've stopped Cheeky Freak of the Week and all that, right? So I'm not going to be having a go.
Christ,
I sat there.
I'm scared.
No, I'm not having a go. You've always got to remember that.
Go
I'm
on, just get on
telling
with
you
it.
what goes
Get on with it.
going in
I'll
my mind.
apologise after.
I'm just saying, watching Wimbledon, it wasn't, one of the major games. It was little fellas in a wheelchair having a game.
Little fellas in a wheelchair.
Right.
But for me, I mean, great. They're doing a sport and everything. Don't put it on the telly.
What was up with it?
There wasn't a rally going on. No, do you know what I mean? Do you know normally, like with the well, not to Enman, but with some of the other with some of the other players and that, they're playing for ages, aren't they? It's like, oh, who's going to win this and that?
Yeah.
None of that. It was just like, hit it, net.
Oh Christ! Oh God! I don't know what to do.
And people were like sat there watching it as well when they've got other games going on in there. That's what I couldn't understand. If you've paid your money to get
God.
in,
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, good on them if they. Do you know what I mean? But it would have been. I
And
don't
they
know,
all start first in the marathon.
I just thought it would have, give them a game of swing ball or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I understand.
Oh God!
There's never anything on.
XFM in the community.
Did
Brilliant.
anyone confirm, actually, I had an email earlier,
Swing ball.
No, I'm not having a go though. Tell them. This is what I'm like, aren't I?
Sorry, this is recording you as well. What do you mean I'm not having to go tell them? Do you, what you
No,
think you
but
just said
do you know
that to
what I
me?
mean?
Do you think you haven't got a microphone? You just said to London, keep wheelchair sport off the telly because they can't get a rally going. You called them little fellas in wheelchairs. What? And I meant to go, what Carl meant was... What? I mean, what? They can hear you as well.
Yeah, I know. It's just that they might think that I'm having a go, and I don't want them to. That's why I stopped Cheeky Freak of the Week, because some people got the wrong end of the stick
Right.
and what have you. So,
Well, it was funny that a woman was born with deformed legs. They might think you were taking the mick.
Anyway, I just was wondering if anyone could confirm. We had an email earlier, I forget who sent it in, but thanks very much indeed for it. They said that the Paralympics began this week, and apparently during the opening show, the entertainment was provided by Riverdance. Now, I don't know if that, I can neither confirm nor deny that, but it does seem rather tactless. Let's play a tune. Ricky Gervais,
Don't put my name to this last link. Don't put my name to this last link.
Ricky.Gervais, xfm.co.uk.
Oh.
Magic, Virgin, if you're listening, we are available probably sooner than we thought.
what was that illness years ago? Right, there was a couple of lads at our school
Oh yeah.
had really big heads
Right.
and webbed fingers.
And webbed fingers.
And
Sorry, wait. Were that? Hold on. Did you find him in a pond? Did they used to be little tadpoles?
no,
Carl, you're not
seriously.
confusing your past with an old episode of
No,
Doctor
no.
Who, are you?
What were they called? These two?
Oh, I didn't mix with them.
Right.
It was just like. Of
course not.
There was nobody thought anything of it at school. Cause
No,
it was like,
sure.
You used to it.
Yeah, it's the North.
There goes the creature from the Black Lagoon again.
yeah.
He is
late.
brilliant at trigonometry.
He's late for double maths.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't think anything of
What
it.
is it called? What is the disease called where two fellas, are they
Not even related.
rubbish?
Not related.
Were you near a nuclear power station when you were growing up?
Yeah.
You weren't really?
Yeah.
God, this explains so much.
This has got
But
a
I
bit
don't
heavy.
think that's it.
Hey, talking of enormous heads,
Yeah.
you were at the Pop Idol final, weren't you, Rick? You went
Yeah.
down there just because obviously Rick's a huge fan of Pop Idol. He wanted to be there. He wanted to give his support.
Quite seriously, there was no irony there. We were
Yeah, he
having a
genuinely
great
is a
time.
fan of it. And he was. You sort of had photos taken with various people.
Yeah,
didn't
of
you? Because
course.
you were a bit drunk and you wanted to have a
Yeah.
memento of it. It's obviously
Yeah.
a picture of you with Fat Man Rick Waller.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the best one is a picture of Ricky and his girlfriend with Dr. Fox.
Yeah.
Whose head
It's twice the size of mine.
any other head. It's quite remarkable. I
He's
don't know how
like
they
a
make
barrel.
it.
He's a lovely bloke, and he was really nice to meet him and everything. But he looks like an immaculate tan, and he's always happy, and he's, he's
It
just
looks
really
on the
good.
picture, it looks like someone you might see in a carnival who's built a huge papier-mâché head. And he's just we're like Frank Sidebottom, just sort of walking down the road. It's just incredible.
Dr. Fox didn't used to go to your school, did he? He used to hang around with a mate. They were great swimmers. They were brilliant swimmers. Oh, God. Carl had to leave early last week, but, you can stay to the end this week, mate, or...
Yeah.
Yeah?
You don't need another holiday.
Oh, he started already.
I mean,
Steve's made you look like a bit of a twat already, and it's
No.
only 1:05.
But the only reason you don't go on holiday is because you have to spend money.
Oh, and he's gone straight back.
Well,
He's gone straight back.
I can't come back to that.
Oh,
It's just dynamite. It's just absolute. That was
Although the
searing
last
and cut to
holiday,
the chase.
last holiday Steve had, he sort of found a third world country so he could live like a king for a week. It was Cuba, wasn't it?
Going to Cuba, amazing. You can almost rule the place. If it weren't for Castro, I'd have been in charge. Kind of cash I was flashing around. They do anything for $1 over there. It's extraordinary, literally. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh.
Definitely. And I went to Kenya before that.
So he thought to the prostitute said no. You were going.
Yeah, well, it was $2. I mean, I'm not made of money.
Did you have a good holiday, Carl?
Yeah, it was alright. It's alright. Went down to Cornwall.
Now
Tell
you're
you
going
what,
to the monkey
some odd
sanctuary.
people down there, Steve.
Well, don't look at me. I'm not from Cornwall.
Well, you're from that sort of area.
Well, not really, but never mind.
Genetically, he means.
Right.
They're weird.
Well, you must have slotted right in.
What are they weird? What do they look like?
Just all sort of odd people. A lot of old people, but not just old, sort of messed up old.
What do you mean messed up old? You can't just say that. There's
There was a woman with a funny neck.
Okay, in what way was it funny?
What did she have a funny neck? If you were writing an essay, you wouldn't say there was this woman with a funny neck. How would you describe it?
She sort of had her head like pointed down all the time. Like that.
Don't do it. It's his radio.
No, but just for you, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Talking about that.
Yeah, okay, right. So brilliant.
I don't know. I was saying to Suzanne, what happened? You know, what do you think?
Because Suzanne knows everything. That's the good thing about her being with you. You just ask her what happened to her, and Suzanne goes, "Carl, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't been here before."
Suzanne, your girlfriend, or mummy as you call her.
Oh, sparks are flying.
Yeah. I got a little bit of chocolate. Can you just lick a tissue and wipe it off?
Oh,
No, she said it might have been like because back in the olden days they carried stuff on the.
the olden days.
What do you mean the olden days?
This woman was probably what, 50?
No, she looked about 70.
Yeah.
But like I do on Cheeky Freak of the Week, right? I always turn it round and we get like something good out
Something
of it.
positive, yeah.
I said to Suzanne, I bet she finds a lot of money.
Always staring at the ground, yeah.
Oh. How did baguettes come about? If this is going to be someone cooked a loaf a bit wrong and said, I can still make a sandwich out of it, I'm going to hit you.
No.
Go on then.
Right. Napoleon, when he was at war and that with Russia,
1812, yeah.
yeah, all his soldiers were like, you know, not used to the cold weather and that. So they said, take some clothes in your bag with you because it's going to be
Chilly.
nippy
Yeah.
out there. So they put all the clothes in the bag.
Sure.
Did what they were told. It's Napoleon, for Christ's sake.
No room for any food.
You're joking.
So
Couldn't they make some sort of like sandwich?
no, it wouldn't fit because of all the clothes. You had to take extra gear.
Sure.
for them. So anyway, he said,
I can see
I
where
know.
this is going. I'll be honest.
Is there a baguette-shaped gap left in their holdall?
They thought, let's make some bread that you can fit down your trouser leg.
What?
That's not true! No, it's not,
I
Carl!
read it in Euston train station. I was waiting to go back to Manchester.
Where did you read
What,
these?
scrawled on the wall in graffiti?
Yeah.
Do you know the
Was it also meet me here for cock fun at 12 o'clock?
The upper crust sandwich shop, Euston station. It's on the wall.
What do you mean it's on the wall?
Do you know it says, like, sail on at Dixon's, whatever?
Yeah.
Next to that, there was, like, a bit of information. Once you've read the stuff on Dixon's,
Baguette information.
there was a big thing about the history of the baguette. I read it, and I thought,
No, we gotta make a sandwich we can spit down our trouser leg.
But how can you march and fight with a huge piece of bread down your train?
Although it would be intimidating. You see them coming, you go, sacre bleu, look at the size of them. They're big fellas. Well,
Blimey. I can't help but feel that could be a practical joke at your expense.
yeah.
wouldn't do that.
Well, the Earl of
Do you ever
Sandwich...
question anything you read? If it's
No.
printed up, is that,
Yeah.
like, fact for you then?
Well, it's not funny. I mean, if they were trying to be funny, it's like, it's not, is it? So it's
Have
information.
you heard us? Things sometimes want to be
that's,
funny when
that's,
they're not.
that's exactly what happened with the sandwich. The Earl of Sandwich wanted something he could fit down his pants. And it was those triangle cut sandwiches wrapped in cling film were perfect. You might be right. You might be right.
I am.
Because the Cornish pasty, so they could drop it down the mines, isn't it?
Is it?
They wrapped it up they wrapped up like meat and vegetables in pastry, and they sort of crimped it, and it was like and they dropped it down the mine, so, yeah, that's how that came about.
And bagels were originally made so that people could play hoopla, but then eat afterwards. I don't know if you're aware of that. That is true, Carl.
Well, anyway.
Call my bluff. Is one of them true?
Yeah.
They're all true.
They're all true.
Yeah.
Tell your kids that when you have them.
Yeah.
You know, if they're still alive in a million years.
Well, it might be true. Can someone confirm that baguette fact that it was so Napoleon could stick it down
Not him.
his trousers? Not him, his
men.
soldiers.
His men.
Yeah.
Fascinating information. Fascinating bread information, Carl.
Well, we've had lots of emails. People, obviously, we inflamed and provoked
Well,
about
actually, I have to
the
say, Rick-
Cornish pasty. I've got a couple of amendments to that. The crusty bit, you know, is actually as a handle, because obviously the miners had dirty hands, and they'd eat all the stuff in the pasty, and they'd be left with this sort of crust, and they could throw that away. Also, someone told us that at one end was a apple, so you have a little sweet as well.
No dessert.
So there you go.
You noticed how, like, over the years we've been doing this, you know, way back when we started XFM, no one ever contributes when we ask about the music, when we ask about hip-hop,
No.
or their, you know, opinions on that,
No.
anything important.
No.
But start talking about pasties,
Yeah.
we've had about 5 phone calls.
Yeah, and someone phoned up to confirm. They used to work for Upper Crust, and basically Carl got all excited. So it is true. She went, well, I don't know if it's true. I've read the same sign you did, Carl.
Interestingly, there's an email here that says, which basically offers a history of the baguette, and talks about after the revolution, the government decreed that all of France must eat the same bread, and it was up to the bakers to bake this bread of equality. And then Napoleon kind of made sure it was a particular. He kind of set in.
Obviously on the bread you can eat anything you find in the garden: frogs, snails, bits of horse,
But the
squid.
interesting thing is, Rick, that there's no mention of sticking it down your trousers whilst going to war.
The French have tried to keep that secret for over 100
It
years,
was only
Steve.
the upper crust people. that
Yeah,
managed to,
yeah, nearly
get
200
it.
years, that is a top secret. Somehow Euston Station Upper Crust got hold of a document, left behind in an old sea chest, possibly Napoleon's, could have been Josephine's. Unfortunately, jotted it down. He's kicking himself now. Oh, Secret, I cannot believe I left a note. If he talked like that.
He did.
He did that, yeah, he talked English, but in a very funny French accent.
Because your diary doesn't just mention. I mean, okay, yes, it does. It fails to mention any disasters in London because we haven't had any. But it doesn't mention any. It doesn't mention any world events. It doesn't mention wars in Iraq,
But I don't
terrorism.
need
It doesn't
to
mention
now.
anything.
But that's all being wrote about anyway. If you're saying there's a museum that's keeping everything, there's loads of other books for that. Who's looking at the fella whose skulls fell off?
What?
We see. It's interesting, isn't it?
What do you mean the fellow whose skulls fell off?
Well, that's what happened the other week, so I wrote about it.
What?
A fella's skull has fell off.
What do you mean his skull has fell off?
It's something to do with circulation.
But what do you mean his skull fell
Well,
off?
it's in the diary. We
But
might
how
look
can
at
a
the diary.
skull fall off? Because it's surrounded by tissue and it's got a brain. How can just his skull? How can it detach itself from all the stuff surrounding
He
it?
mislaid all his dreams.
But all I'm saying is that's not getting a look in.
No, because it's not significant or probably true.
Good point, Steve.
I don't
All
know
right. Well,
what's
let me
anything
just. I'll
based on.
I'll just consult the diary quickly and find the moment with the man whose skull fell off. Oh, here we are. Yeah. Looks like the world's fattest man is having an operation to get rid of some of the fat.
Yeah.
He has to have an iron bed because that's the only thing that can hold his weight. There's also a man whose skull has fell out. He's in hospital somewhere. I hate that. It would make me panic. The hospital is busy with people coming in to look at their head.
What are you talking about there? That tells us nothing. Right, it's impossible for a skull to fall out.
How are scholars in 10,000 years going to be... What are they going to decipher from that?
They can sort of
There's
go,
not enough incident detail.
But how did his skull fall out?
circulation problems.
But answer the question. How did his skull fall out? Fall out of what?
He was at home, and I don't know if he was combing his hair or something, but it come off.
What did?
His skull.
What do you mean, his skull? Do you know what the skull is?
It's a part of the head.
Well, no, it's the structure of the head. It's the bone. Do you mean the top of the skull?
This is only useful if you have all the salient facts. Then it would be of interest to us. We could.
Well, I couldn't take that on. I'm busy. I'm not going to start looking into stuff in depth. Just get the details.
God. You're such an idiot.